News 46 is brought to you by Dennis Hoff for Assembly District 36, a successful businessman who can't be bought, can't be intimidated, and won't sell you out. Paid for by friends of Dennis Hoff. News is also brought to you by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, Mercier transports a biker to a trauma center. Officials are looking into a structure fire, and a suspect will be extradited back to Pahrump. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Monday, September 19th, 2016. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. A bike rider was struck by a vehicle while riding last night on South Highway 160.
Last night, dispatch to report of a pedestrian motor vehicle accident. The pedestrian is actually riding a bicycle at the time of the accident. They were traveling on 160 and they were struck by a vehicle.
Was it an adult or a child? Or
unknown age. I didn't have actual patient contact, but the multi-system trauma sustained. It warranted flight to go to UMC trauma, so we brought Mercier 21 to the scene.
Do you know if the bicycle rider was in the roadway or?
It's my understanding. I don't know the exact details of how it happened. It was being investigated by the NCSO as well as NHP. But apparently the bicycle may have been on the shoulder of the road when it was struck.
All right. And the road was closed temporarily, wasn't it?
It was. We had to do that as a precautionary measure in order to safely land the helicopter.
Anybody inside the vehicle injured?
Not inside the vehicle.
Neighbors on Prospector Lane were irate on Saturday when a motorcycle rider was struck by a car while riding his bike from what they call a person who frequently speeds down their street. Some were calling for her arrest and said the driver almost hit a child and is a constant problem in their area. We caught up with Lieutenant Kevin Klickner from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue.
It was on Saturday. We were initially dispatched for a single car MVA. On arrival, we determined that it was actually a T-bone accident, motorcycle into the car. Due to the patient's injuries and mechanism of the incident, the patient was flown to UMC trauma via Mercier.
You guys landed right on the roadway, right?
We did. We secured a landing zone and had them land right on scene.
Was anybody inside the vehicle injured?
There was no injuries inside the vehicle. The driver was just a little shook up due to the accident, but she's okay.
Nye County Sheriff's deputies investigating?
They are. They're doing an investigation of the incident.
And police and fire are investigating the cause of a structure fire that occurred yesterday on Jasmine Street. Here is more with Fire Chief Scott Lewis.
Initially, it was reported to be a brush fire or an unknown type fire, thought to maybe be a brush fire. As crews were responding, that we were informed that there was a child still in the house and that the brush fire had extended to the dwelling itself. Upon arrival, we found that the occupant was safely out of the house, and then they had found that the fire had traveled under a double-wide manufactured dwelling. They started exposing certain parts of the structure in order to expose that hidden fire, and it quickly extinguished it.
Can you tell me how it started?
The fire itself is under investigation, and we're working diligently with NCSO Sergeant McCrae, determining exactly how that fire started yesterday.
Was their parents home at the time?
No, there was a child who was home alone, and so that's part of the ongoing investigation.
Brush fire that is suspicious in nature is being investigated by Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue.
We were dispatched for a brush fire next to the Salvation Army on Dahlia. On arrival, it appears to be about a 20 by 20 fire, mainly trash and brush within the fire. We were able to contain the fire immediately, no extension to any buildings or other property.
That's kind of mesquite bushes right there. Do you guys keep an eye on that? Because I know sometimes they tend to kick up.
They can. We do keep an eye on it for the most part. We overhauled it to the point where we knew it wouldn't extend any further or continue to relight throughout the night. So we just kind of put it out and made sure it won't relight.
We'll have your Desert View Hospital health tip after this break.